Hi, my name is Santiago, and today I want to share with you my own experience and provide you with tips for passing the Certified Kubernetes Application Developer exam. You are going to watch me doing a couple of exercises. Meanwhile, I will provide you tips for a better exam preparation. Let's begin then. So the very first tip you need to have in mind is that you need to use a kind of a web terminal like the one you are seeing on my screen, which is CKAD, by the way. And this is because you need to get used about this latency that you have in this kind of a web terminal, and also because there are some hotkeys that won't work as you may expect. Here's another tip for you guys. As you can see, I'm using Tmax, which stands for the terminal multiplexer. Otherwise, you will be stuck with a single terminal, and that could be a problem if you want to do some things in parallel. So I really recommend you invest a little bit of time learning about Tmax. In the same vein, I also recommend you learn about the Vim so that you can easily edit the multiple text files that you will need to have. You will need to do in the middle of the exam. If you find it hard, probably there is Nano. Yeah, there we go, which might be a little bit more easy for you to pick up. So let's move forward doing a couple of exercises so that we can get more tips out of them. So here the first one says create a deployment, okay, with the image of Nginx, that one, with the replicas 2, I believe. Yeah, 2 replicas defining port 80, so port, tab, port 80. Okay, don't create the service, that's right. Okay, then we should go. The deployment is created. We can do like get deploy spot. Sorry, comma here. There we go. We have 2 out of 2 and 2 pods. Okay, they should be up and running. So we can, it says here, build the YAML of the deployment. So we can take deploy of tab, Nginx, output the YAML. And that's it. There we go, the YAML. Build the YAML of the replica set. Okay, get replica set. So we can get replica set Nginx, output and that's it of the deployment. Okay. So get the YAML of one of the pods. So it's easy. Get pod, Nginx. Either of them should work. Up the YAML, and that's it. Check how the deployment rollout is going. So we can use the rollout command here. Status of deployment. The single one is Nginx, as we call it. So it's successfully rollout, which makes sense because we have the 2 pods up and running. Update the Nginx image to the next. So I really like to do it this way because I don't know if I'm easier. I update it to 9. Say width. We can confirm through the status role, right? So status says here that is still running out the image that we just updated. So let's wait a little bit here. And should be ready, and it says here even that we should check the rollout history, so to confirm that everything is correct. So rollout history, the deployment Nginx, and it should be there. We should check that indeed we're using the latest version. We can put it like that. We can put some more parameters like output wide. There we go. We are using the require new version of the Nginx. And finally, we should undo, right? So to switch back to the old images, that will be 1.7.8. So we can use the rollout again command, undo, deployment, Nginx. We can take advantage of the status command again. Let's wait for it. And there we go. We should be ready. We can just check it again. Sorry, get deploy. And indeed we are using the 1.7.a. So what are the tips that we get out of these exercises? First of all, please don't create any research from scratch. What I mean about that is you shouldn't be coding a YAML file from scratch. That's insane, and you won't get enough time to do that. Instead, you should take advantage of the built-in kube controlling commands, like the one you saw me using. Sorry, the terminal is kind of sluggy. Kube controller create, which has a plenty of resources you can create with this command. But since we are using the kube controller version that is 1.17, bear in mind that starting from 1.18 you are going to use a lot the create command, and but since I'm using the old one, which is in fact the version that is still being used in the real exam, but take precaution about that, you can still get with the advantage of the other command that is called kube controller run, which create more, like, say, more easily the resources. But anyway, both of them will work. The next tip that you saw me here is that you should use whatever comes first to your mind. An example of this is that you could have used the kube controller set image command when you had to upgrade the Nginx container image for the deployment. But there is another way that you saw me doing, that is you edit directly the deployment resource, which you may already know that once you save the edits of Kubernetes, we immediately apply those changes. But that's the reason. You shouldn't be afraid about doing whatever comes to your mind. Okay, let's move to another couple of exercises so we can get even more tips out of them. Here you can see I'm seeing the persistent volume exercises. So for this one, I will be taking advantage of the documentation. Let's go to concepts, storage, persistent volumes. Let's search for the kind persistent. Let's grab this. And I will imagine if we use we can do like a set paste, so it doesn't mess up with the new lines or the formatting. Probably we will need also the persistent volume claim, so I will just take advantage of this. In YAML you can have like two definitions, they're separated by these dashes. So let's switch back to the exercise. Okay, get persistent volume of 10 gigabytes. Okay, 10 gigabytes. Let's call it like my volume. Make the rewrite once and rewrite many. Read, write many. This shouldn't be necessary. Story clash. Let's call it normal. Not necessary. Probably we need a host path volume, yeah, host path. So host path, which path? Host path that etc full. Okay, etc full. Mount is here. Okay, I to the cluster. Okay, host path, and the persistent volume claim indeed here, which make use of the new persistent volume. Let's call it like PVC. Access mode, it's okay, should be 4 gigabytes. This should be necessary. Story class should be the same as the one above, so it matches. Selector should be necessary. 4 gigabytes and access mode rewrite once, which we are using. Storage class normal, save it, create. Okay, we should create these two resources. PB. Let's check them out. There we go, they are bound, so the PVC is bound, the 10 gigabytes, okay, sorry, class normal. Okay, so we should now create let's do one more, create a BusyBox pod with a command that weighs, okay, amount the persistent volume, okay, so let's take advantage of that, run BusyBox image, BusyBox. Because we want to do some things later, and the command should be like something like this. Sleep 7. Okay, we can put this in pod file so we can take advantage of it. I imagine we will need the persistent volume. So we put it like that. We have volume of name ball, something like that, which would be a persistent volume claim. And the claim name is the my PVC. My PVC, that's right. It should work. And I should mount it here, right? Like volume claims. Sorry, don't bother, please. I should mount the one that is called ball, and the mount path should be just a mount path here. etc. etc. Okay. So let's give it a try. It's an error. Mount volumes. Volume mount, sorry man. Okay. Volume. It's been like a month since I took the exam, so kind of rusty. It's amazing. There we go. We can get watch it. Continue creating. It's running. Let's see if it's working. Describe pod. Sorry, busy box. The volume. Yeah, the persistent volume claim is there. So, what are the things that we can get out of these exercises? Well, there's a tip for you that you saw me doing. That if you know that we know that there are some resources that cannot be created easily with the Kube controller run, neither the create command. So you should don't be afraid, and indeed you are allowed to have another tab during the exam. But that tab should only have the documentation and a couple of other things, but I only use it for the documentation, the official Kubernetes documentation. So don't be afraid of using it. In this case, I took advantage of it for getting the boilerplate, let's say, of a real persistent volume as well as a persistent volume claim Kubernetes resources. Just copied it, place it in the file like you saw me doing, and just do anything that is being requested in the exercise, and just directly create it with the apply command. The other thing that you saw me doing is that for creating the pod, I use the try run command, and that's because sometimes you can take advantage of the run command, but not all the parameters are there to accomplish the goal that is being requested in the exercise. In this case, for instance, I needed to mount a persistent volume, which is not included as part of the Kube controller run command. So I just took advantage as placing here the dry run output to YAML, so I can get like a scaffolding just to then open it with Beam and edit to my needs, right? And the final tip that you saw me also using is I wasn't sure I was using the right word for the persistent volume claim section in the pod YAML. So I just took advantage. I spin up another Tmax terminal, and this is useful to know about Tmax that I was referring at the first of this video. You can take advantage of a Kube controller command that's called explain, and you give it the full path of a Kubernetes resource, in this case pod. You know that the pod has the specification, then you can have the volumes, and inside the volumes, among those, you can have the persistent volume claim. And you will get a nice explanation about that part, the description, but also the fields, which is in the case which I was needed, right? Because I needed to know that the claim name was indeed the correct attribute to use with the persistent volume claim. I have a final tip for you, and it's just to look in the description of the video. I will post a link to a GitHub repository I created with my CKAD notes for the exam. I really suggest you take a look because it was my main source when I had to study. About the exam, what I can tell you is that I really enjoyed taking it, and I believe the single most critical factor is time, because you only get 2 hours for doing around 19 exercises, which doesn't sound a lot, right? But having to do that exam, someone watching you, and well, it puts a lot of pressure, so you need to remain calm. And also it was really helpful for me when some exercise I couldn't resolve it. So you need to take advantage of a feature that you will have in the exam that is called a flag. So you flag an exercises, you move to the next one, and at the end you can quickly return to those flag exercises. Most probably you are going to resolve them with a fresh mind. You are going to tackle them well this time. Please feel free to post your own experience or any comment you want, as that may help others. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, consider subscribing to my channel and like the video as well. Have a nice study and exam, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.